Okay, good evening, everybody. It is Tuesday, February 14th, 2023. Happy Valentine's Day. It's 6:30 p.m. and this is a meeting of the Advisory Committee. So first up on our agenda, we're going to be meeting with our town clerk, Pam Powell.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Pam. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Sure. Thanks for waiting a little bit to have me come in. I'm usually at the beginning. So do you want me to just walk through everything, Brian?
Sure. You know what? I'll share my screen so that everybody can look at your budget on the spreadsheet.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so I think you should be able to see that, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Looks
go ahead.
good. Great. Okay, so taking it from the top, the salary 77,168 requested. And then there's a stipend I've earned from getting certified. So that's $1,000. And then wages for registrar. Oh no, that's on the next page. Sorry. Wages for Jan, I should say, 39,077. The purchase of services we no longer have because we got rid of our PO box.
Right.
That's all that was. The software support, I'm requesting 3,000. This is covers the general code, bylaws, and everything that we have online with general code. It's kind of weird because this budget pays for the ATM that's coming up this spring, but you're budgeting for next year, but we're paying for 2023. So it's kind of weird. Oh, and the reason I have a little more in there is I think my impression is next year, the planning board, and Todd can correct me if I'm wrong, will likely have, well, along with master plan, will likely have a number of bylaw changes. So I kind of want to be kind of ready for that. But I do know that we can come back for more if need be. So that's that. And oh, sorry, go ahead, Brian.
No, so I just wanted to be clear that for the salary and wages increases, that already incorporates the salary and wage study recommendations from the town treasurer and town administrator. And so just in case anybody was wondering, like, I know that the assistant clerk was one of those positions where we were like way below sort of the midpoint of the range.
Yes.
Everything else is basically level funded except for that additional $1,000 for software support.
Correct.
Okay.
Another note to make, and I'm sure you're all aware of it, but the salary compensation was for non-union employees. It's not just town hall. It's non-union.
Yep.
Okay. So where am I here? Let's see. So web services is $1,200. It's $11.95, I think, to maintain the code on the web. So that's an annual fee. Supplies $350, dues $150, and then meetings, training is $2,300.
Okay.
So that's 161 town clerk.
What I think we'll do is we can probably vote on your three budgets as a package, but let's see if anybody has questions about 161 before we move on to 162.
Pam, when you say for web services that it maintains the code, what do you mean? I apologize. I'm not sure what that means.
Well, maybe I'm not using the right terminology. The code is web-based, and so they host it for us. The bylaws and whatnot. It's called General Code, and it's on the main page of the Town of Bolton website, and it's searchable, and it's a codification of what was a kind of a mess of a Word document back in when I first started. And so we wanted to get it codified so it has a good numbering system, and it's searchable, and you can compare different towns. It's a fabulous tool.
Okay.
And residents can use it, and builders and all sorts of people. Does that
Okay.
answer your question, Bill?
It does. I thought that was probably what it was, but I wanted to clarify.
Okay, no problem.
Any other questions about 161? Okay, 162.
This is the better news. This is a year where I don't have to ask as much for elections. So I've requested for wages, 2915. Purchase of services, that did go up primarily because we have 2 voting machines right now. And we've been very fortunate to have that second one. We got that through ARPA money. And we have to code both of them, but it allows us to do vote by mail separately from the voters that come into the polls. And then supplies, 975, that's reduced. So that's that on that. Any questions on that one?
I don't have any.
Okay. All righty, on to street listings / registrars. Wages 200, that's what I was talking about earlier. As a registrar, you can get paid for 200, and I always have it go to the assistant town clerk because they're really the ones that do most of the work on the voter registration system. And the purchase of services is the mailing, printing, mailing, and postage for our town census. And we get a really good postage rate. They do a beautiful job printing and putting it together. You probably all just got yours. So we're very happy with their services.
And that's going up $200.
Yeah, we just had a huge postage increase regular, and it just keeps going up and up. So I just thought I'd be ready for that. And then we've also do a second mailing. So that comes out of that too.
Okay.
And then supplies 350, general office supplies.
All right. Well, thank you. Does anybody else have questions about 163?
Pretty straightforward.
Yeah, pretty straight. It's nice to not be in a big election year.
Oh, it is. Yeah. Just wait till next year.
Yeah.
All the vote by mail.
Okay, so I would entertain a motion to approve budgets 161, 162, and 163 for the town clerk.
I move we approve the budgets 161, 162, and 163.
I second that.
Okay, I'll do a roll call. Bill,
I
Craig,
Aye.
Greg. Sorry, Greg Myers. We might have to wait until Greg can unmute.
I'm back.
Sorry. Yeah, so this was just motion to approve the town clerk's budgets. Are you a yes?
I'm a yes. Aye.
Yeah, and I'm a yes as well. Okay, thank you, Pam, for
Great.
zooming
You're
in.
welcome. No problem.
All right, good to see you.
Take care. You as well. Bye-bye.
Okay, I see Eric is in there you are, unmuting.
Hey,
How's it going?
good. I'm gonna keep my camera off at work in my lab, so
Yeah,
I
of
don't wanna be
course.
Busy with walking around.
And you know what? I don't even think we need to share a spreadsheet because we can just tell everybody that your budget for EDC was $750 for this fiscal year, and you're asking for $750 in FY24. So could you just say a little bit about the spending plan for that?
Yeah, so you'll notice the past couple years because of COVID, it's been down, but we plan on having a couple of like social gatherings, trying to like business get-togethers. We're planning one for March, so there'll be a little bit of money there, and then money goes toward marketing for Backyard Bolton and other like media items. Other things we kind of order is like we got a EDC banner for events and stuff like that. That's one thing we ordered, but so I don't imagine it'll be too much more, but you know, there'll be more than it's been the past couple years.
Okay. Any questions for Eric? Sorry. Getting another phone call. Any questions for Eric? Okay. Would somebody like to make a motion to approve the EDC's budget for $750?
I move we approve the EDC budget for $750.
I second that.
Okay, roll call. Craig,
Aye.
Greg,
Aye.
Bill,
I,
and I'm also a yes. All right, thanks, Eric, and thanks for calling in from the office.
Yeah, great. Thank you, guys.
All right, have a good
Night.
night. Okay. Zooming right along. Next, I know we're actually a little bit ahead of schedule, but Todd Miller, our town planner, is here. So Todd, welcome. I think this is your first budget meeting.
Inaugural, yeah.
Thanks for being here. So we're going to be going over the planning board budget and the appeals board budget with you. And then just you and I had spoken yesterday, but I haven't filled in the rest of the committee. So I'll just do that now. Originally on the agenda, we always leave a space for the town planner to give an overview of any proposed bylaw changes that might be going before the annual town meeting. And what Todd said was that, well, Todd, you can
Sure.
just tell us.
Sure. Thank you, Brian. Yes, with the master plan, we're about, I would say, waist deep in the development of the master plan here. We are holding off on adding any agenda items, at least warrant items that are related to any zoning amendment changes, in light of waiting for that final deliverable of the master plan document. And then once we're in receipt of that final deliverable of the master plan, then we'll be adjusting our zoning code in the spirit of that document there. So in light of that, there is nothing to add for any zoning amendments this year.
So we basically don't have to spend any time on that. So why don't we get on into the budget then?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, can you see that?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Great. So beginning at the top there, you'll see the results and figure there from Kristen Noel's wage survey there present. You'll see that requested in FY24 is reflected at 83,168, which is again, that's the end result of Kristen Noel's wage study for area municipalities. Working down from that, you'll see the purchase of services. That there is just level funded from year over year. I don't anticipate any additional changes from year over year expenditure there also. So likely that'll remain unchanged. Same with advertising, supplies, in-state travel, and for dues for the American Planning Association, which are required to keep up my work towards AICP accreditation. Aside from that, everything else it's completely level funded year over year. I am available if anyone has any questions, of course.
Yeah, so we've talked a little bit about this. There's a new position
Yes.
that's being proposed. And I got an email from Kristen today. I can kind of share that with folks, but how were you at all involved in kind of developing,
Somewhat.
formulating the need for this position?
Yes, I was really working alongside Rebecca from Conservation and helping to kind of outline basically delineating the duties that would be covered by this new position here, which are largely administrative in nature, of course. They're shared between Conservation and Planning. Both Rebecca and I spend, I won't say an undue amount of our day-to-day time attending to administrative tasks and kind of light bookkeeping and accounts payable and accounts receivable that Rebecca and I are better allocated towards working on things like grant writing and other relevant research materials and tasks assigned by Planning Board, or in our case, master plan steering, economic development, and zoning board of appeals items. So Rebecca and I are spread pretty thin, and we do need someone to help with items like mailings for certified mailings for hearing notices, again, light AP and light AR, and just the overall day-to-day administrative tasks that, while not difficult in any sense, they're numerous enough to really weigh down and inhibit our productivity in a way that that's really noticeable. And the end result isn't as much productivity as I would like to have from at least my office in the planning department, and I'm sure Rebecca would agree with that.
And so this is a position that's initially being budgeted for 15 hours. And just I guess for the record, I wanted to share what Kristen Noel had written. She said that one of my findings as a result of the compensation study was that Bolton is lacking several support positions that our surrounding communities are currently funding. Bolton has several one-person departments, and the workload has been fairly manageable for most because there's always someone available, usually someone available to lend a hand during peak times. This is an example of the collaborative environment found in Town Hall, but the assistance required for both planning and conservation is more specialized. One of the reasons we've lost town planners in the past was lack of support. The planner position is extremely busy, is currently involved with multiple projects. We don't see this slowing down anytime soon. But we have been conservative with the hours that we are proposing for this new position at 15 hours per week. And it'll allow the conservation agent and the planner to focus on other priority tasks that they don't really have the time for currently. So
That's exactly well said.
All right, so I'd like to see if folks have any questions about this.
So if this is split between planning board and conservation, should it show up in both budgets or just one?
Bill, I can share with you that and maybe Ninotchka can chime in, we had talked about just keeping it in one place, just because it's kind of easier to see the position if it's all in one place. But it's understood that it's a position supporting both departments.
We figured it'd be similar to Kristen Zena, who supports building inspection and Board of Health, but her whole salary is in Board of Health. To Brian's point, sometimes things just get screwed up when you start splitting them between various departments.
Understand. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Yeah, quick one. I guess for sake of completeness, are there other departments that have similar, more specialized administrative tasks that we would want to flex even beyond 15 and include them in this new position?
Not that I'm aware of, and I think, we could talk to Kristen or Dawn. I think Dawn Lowe, our town administrator, is coming back in on March 7th, just to kind of follow up on that more general question. But I think that what they want to do is just start conservative with 15 hours. But we can ask Dawn.
Yeah.
We should vote on this tonight, though.
Okay. I'm supportive. It's just while we're at it, it's kind of my point. While we're at it, if there's another department that's in a similar productivity strapped environment you know, maybe we bolt on to this, but that was it. Thanks.
Mr. Sikansky.
Hi, thank you. At 15 hours, this is not a benefited position. And as this is really only the second position that we've added in the past 5 years or something like that, I'd rather add this position and see next year if we need another one, as opposed to creating a second position this year. And you know, once you create a position, it's very uncomfortable and difficult to get rid of it or to adjust it. So I think the question of, are there other departments? I mean, Kristen implied that in the note that Brian just read, that she implied that there are other departments that need this, but I'd rather take this one, do this year, and then reevaluate for next year.
Yep.
Yeah, makes sense.
Any other comments or questions?
Yeah, this is Stan. I mean, what are we looking at potentially having some seniors with the STREP program? I mean, if it's mailings and such, is this an opportunity for a senior to who might want to avail themselves of the program to participate? Have we looked at it that regard?
I don't know the answer to that. I don't know if Todd or Nanachka might know.
I can, if to the chair, if I may.
Yep, go ahead.
Great. Stan, I have evaluated the possibility of using a senior work-off person to assist with mailings. And that's something that we can absolutely explore doing. But the other administrative tasks that this position would be performing would be a little bit more specialized in nature. Not limited to simple things like, you know, light AR and AP, but also for matters of like saying minutes taking, which can be quite laborious and time intensive. And it might not be as easy to find a senior work-off person willing or able to address all of those concerns.
No. Okay.
Much not. Yeah. So I'm very much in favor of having a senior work-off person or some other senior participating in that program, helping with the mailings. At this point, I'll take all the help that I can get because there's quite a lot of work to do.
Yep. Well, as far as minutes, maybe you can enlist some of the members of the planning board to take turns dealing with that.
I can always give it a shot. No, the worst they can say is no, thank you.
Yeah, they're getting the big bucks for the work.
It's a relative statement, but sure.
Any other questions about 175? And actually, why don't you just go through 176 as well, Todd? It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, this one, it's, as Brian mentioned, it is enormously complicated. You'll see in line 5205, it's level funded from year over year when it comes to SHI project funding or 40B funding, permitting rather there, as well as the advertising budget for zoning board of appeals. Apologies, zoning board of appeals as well. It's level funded year over year with no significant changes or alteration.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, is there a motion on the planning board and board of appeals budgets 175 and 176?
I move we approve budgets 175 and 176.
I second that.
Okay, roll call. Bill,
I
Craig,
Aye.
Greg,
Aye.
and I'm also yes. All right, thank you, Todd, very much.
Thank you very much also, all of you. Appreciate it.
Have a good evening. So Jenny, I don't know if you can hear me, but
Yep, I can hear you.
Oh, great. So I know that next on our agenda is to vote on the MIS budget. I know it says Paul in parentheses, but did you actually invite him? Because I think I said last time we wanted to get all of our questions to him then so that we wouldn't necessarily have to invite him back today.
Yeah, that's what I was understanding, but I put him on there just in case he wanted to come.
Okay, but to your knowledge, he's not planning to.
That's correct.
Okay, all right, good, because I know we're running like 15 minutes ahead of schedule, but I think we could review that if he's not going to be here. Okay, so hopefully everybody remembers the discussion we had last week. I mean, basically, the two big drivers of the increase here are additional leases for new equipment that had been delayed, and then almost $8,000 worth of increase for what is it?
Cyber security insurance.
Yeah, there's like some like N something encryption that we need in order to obtain our adequate cyber insurance coverage. But it is a hefty increase. Is there a motion to approve?
I move we approve the MIS budget.
I second that.
Okay, roll call. Bill,
Aye.
Craig,
Aye.
Greg,
Aye.
and I am yes as well. Okay. Wow. So Ninotchka, we're like at the end of our, am I missing anything for tonight? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
So then I'll just quickly say we're actually gonna take next week off. It's school vacation week, and because our town administrator is gonna come in on March 7th, we moved the other folks that were also gonna come in on the 21st to the 7th. So next week we're gonna take off. Then on the 28th, we have a meeting at 6 o'clock. It's Tuesday, 6 o'clock, hosted by the Stowe FinCom with the Neshoba Regional School District. And then at 7, we're going to be hosting our own Zoom meeting with Minuteman. So it's 2 back-to-back meetings for everybody. But that's it. We do have minutes, but 2 of the people that were at last week's meeting aren't here today, so I don't want to vote on them tonight. So unless there's anything else, any other comments or questions before we adjourn? No? All right. Motion to adjourn?
I move we adjourn.
I'll second that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Thank you, everybody, tonight. Have a good evening.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy
Valentine's
Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Take care.
Day.
Night.
Aye.